I grew up in a home where, we went to church maybe once in a blue moon, like on the holidays and once in a while on Sundays. I feel like it was sort of just for show or looks because that's where it ended. Like we weren't praying at home, we weren't talking about God, and really we just looked to Him when things were really, really bad. When I was a freshman in high school, my best friend died in a car accident, and then just a month later, my oldest brother died. And this was probably like the hardest time of my entire life. I don't know how I got through that time without God. But to fast forward to where my faith journey really started, our oldest daughter, Reese, she had wanted to go to a Christian camp. We dropped her off at camp, and at the end of the week, we went to pick her up, and she was in tears, literally bawling. And it was because she didn't want to come home. She had the greatest experience that she'd ever had. She was playing Christian music in the house and getting her Bible out and doing her journaling every day. And honestly, her dad and I thought she was nuts. We just didn't understand what she already knew. It really made an impact on me. It was sometime around, when she got back from camp that we started going to Bridgewater. It was just different there. We would, as soon as you pull into the parking lot, the guys are out there directing traffic, and you just feel so welcomed because they always have a smile on their face. And you walk through the front doors and everybody is greeting you, often by name, and giving you hugs, and they're setting up the chairs for you. It's just different. And the worship team is what got me, and the no-tie attire is what got Ray. And, I find Bridgewater to be so comfortable and accepting because our pastors are standing up on that stage admitting that they are sinners too. I don't feel the pressure to be perfect. I don't come here worried about what people think. And I've never felt that comfortable at another church and so accepted. So it's different. So after maybe 2 years of attending Bridgewater pretty regularly, I was standing there in church, and Ray and I were actually in a fight that day. We weren't really talking much, and the worship team was singing a song called Living Hope. And I remember when that song came on, and I really was listening to the lyrics, and it just brought me to tears. I had tears rolling down my cheeks as they sang. And it was in that moment that I realized that in a life that I had lived where I had felt so alone, my dad had abandoned me, I didn't have my mom, I had suffered so much loss and had been hurt in different relationships and friends that had lied to me. And in that moment, feeling very lonely in my marriage. And I realized that there actually is somebody out there who is always going to love me, no matter what. No matter what my past is or what my sins are or whether I feel like I'm worthy or not. Someone who's always going to be listening, and somebody who has always been and will always choose me. And that person is God. So between that song and what was going on in my life in that moment, and then later in that service, Pastor Bob did a salvation prayer, and I just realized at that time that I wanted to hand everything over to God. I didn't want to have that burden on me. I didn't want to have that weight anymore, and I wanted to give it all over to Him. I am just so grateful that Reese came home from camp with that crazy enthusiasm and helped me to discover Him. I know that I'm broken, I'm not perfect, and I don't always feel like I'm worthy of His grace and His unconditional love, but I'm so grateful that I found it. And probably the coolest part of my faith journey is that in October of 2020, Reese baptized me. My name is Heather Warriner, and I am here to make more and better disciples of Jesus Christ.